I do want to quickly outline what happened with COVID when I had COVID. So, what day is it today? It's Friday. So, a week ago today, I tested positive for COVID. I've since then tested negative and I'm absolutely fine, fingers crossed. But, so, Friday daytime, I was starting to feel I was very fatigued, I was very tired, and I had a massive headache and I wasn't feeling great. I might be exaggerating some of this because that's just how storytelling goes. But I was very tired. That's the main thing. I was very, very tired. So I went and got my PCR. There was this massive, massive establishment where it was almost like it was the size of just 10 fields. It felt huge. And there was so many staff working, and it was like an operation to get me through. It was like a drive-through. Did my test. The lady who came up to my car was very nice. She saw that I was done. She was ready to ship me off to the next section. And it just feels incredible to see just a huge team of people working together just to get me through. And yeah, it was really cool. For the most part, it's a COVID testing center. You can kind of get the gist of where I'm coming from. Anyway, so I leave there and I still feel a bit icky. And I kind of have this feeling in the back of my mind thinking, I might have COVID. Don't think I do because the only place I've been out was clubbing the Sunday beforehand. And I know that's 5 days between. But I went out with other people and none of them tested positive. So I thought it's probably not going to happen. I'm not tired. I'm not tired. I promise. I promise. I just yawn sometimes when I'm speaking. Anyway, go home, basically spend the day in my room when I'm back. Though I did go to a cemetery, regardless, in my room. And then I get the text saying, you've tested positive for COVID, self isolate immediately. And I'm thinking, oh no, this isn't good. Because December beforehand, I had tested positive as well. Thinking, this isn't good. But my COVID experience this year was more prominent. So I'm discussing this one. I realize I jump around a lot and I get very into what I'm talking about, but there's no structure. So apologies if this isn't coherent in terms of a story. I'll do my best though. Anyway, back to Friday evening because I I took the test originally because I wanted to see my family and I wanted to make sure I was okay. I hadn't actually let any of my housemates know, which was a very bad mistake because no one likes to find out that one of your housemates has COVID and you didn't tell them that you were even feeling ill. Though my argument is I didn't know and I wasn't planning that I was having COVID, so but it was still wrong of me to do, and I did apologise for that, especially since one of my housemates had disappeared for the week just that day when I found out I tested positive. But regardless, everybody else was tested, they're all okay, and we're all friends, and I love them a lot. And anyway, back to the Friday evening. I almost psychologically knowing that I had COVID, I started to feel more ill. And I think that's because I knew something was wrong. Go to sleep regularly that night. Saturday morning, I start to feel more groggy and I don't want to move as much. I don't want to be productive and I don't want to cook or anything. So I get my friend to buy me rubbish food from the supermarket. That means microwave meals and just things and Greggs. They taste good, but it's not good for you. So I just spend my time just doing absolutely nothing throughout those days between day one of isolation, the Saturday, and day four, which was the Tuesday. I just kind of just sat in my room and just run on my computer, and that's when I realized how much I really dislike this half of myself, where I just stare at the computer all day, watching YouTube videos and not doing anything with my life, because I don't like the idea that my life would be summed up as a browsing history, and I wouldn't have any other effect on the world other than that I consumed other people's content. It's kind of a scary thing to realize because, no, who wants to be valued as that? You see how easily people delete their browser histories. What if my life was like that? And I know a lot of friends and family would argue saying I had an influence on others, but for me, it didn't feel like I'd accomplished enough. And I thought, if this was how I die, I'd be so disappointed in myself. And that's not a good way to think because, you know, self love. But I know I can work hard, so that's what I'm trying to do now, is to get ahead with what I want to do and what I want to accomplish, such as doing these video diaries because I feel like it's important. I try writing down my feelings a lot, and sometimes I just filter them. And I mean, I am filtering them now as I speak on the camera because I I don't communicate well with how I feel. And maybe I'll go back to doing my diary because it's a bit more private, but I don't care about these bits because I think it's a important story to tell. Um, Day 4, I start to feel a lot better, especially compared with day 2, because this is when I had the realization and I felt awful. I just didn't want to move. I felt like my head was about to explode. It was pretty scary for me because I hadn't been that ill in a long time. And thankfully, nothing really happened on day 3. I just felt better. When we got to day 4, I was feeling a lot better. I took a few COVID tests and I was testing negative. So it seemed like I was out of the trenches. And then I was talking to my housemates more, and I was just making sure that they were okay, they making sure I was okay, and just saying how tomorrow you can come out because if you test negative again, that's 2 days, even though it's a day early. But I didn't go out, so on day 5 I didn't go out. I just stayed in. So I didn't go out until day 6 when I tested negative again. So there we go. But after having COVID and just reflecting on things, there's so much you take for granted that you don't realize. That can be the people around you, your senses. I lost my taste and my sense of smell, and that was very sad. But getting them back was even better. Um, Having the ability to go outside, enjoy the sun. It's just we take so much for granted, and then you realize what's more important. And it's not important for me to mindlessly consume content I don't enjoy. I want to be more selective with what I choose because I don't want to end up like a browsing history. And I don't think anybody else should want to end up like that either, even if they think it's really right. Because trust me, it's not fun. And that's my story. I hope you enjoyed. Don't really know what else to say other than have a good evening.